The secret of life lies hidden in the genetic code. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. Occasionally, certain conditions produce a structural change in the gene, which will bring about the process of evolution. This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating, in which a single gene type proves superior in transmitting its genes to future generations. Secondly, by gene drift, in which certain genes may fade away while other genes persist. And finally, by natural selection, which filters out those genes better equipped than others to endure in the environment. This may result in the origin of an entirely new species, which brings us to Calvin's and the survival of the fittest.
Calvin Klein jeans.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Two women, two brands, two denim ads that launched into the internet stratosphere, but only one got dragged into a political war zone, while the other was showered with praise and style think pieces. Why? What's really behind the great jeans scandal and Beyonce's Levi's love fest? Stick around until the very end, because that's when we'll reveal who's laughing and making the biggest profits from this campaign, no matter if the internet loves them or loathes them. Welcome back to the channel. We cut through the noise of pop culture, marketing, and media storms. Today, we are diving deep into two campaigns that have dominated headlines and timelines: Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle Great Jeans Spot and Beyonce's glossy Levi's reimage campaign. Same category, widely different receptions. And hey, we are going to look at a historical, similar campaign that really got tongues wagging. And we will see the real truth behind such campaigns. The first one, let's look at Sydney Sweeney's Firestorm. On July 23, 2025, American Eagle drops a weekly new campaign. Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. The wordplay of jeans, Jeans, was rather something about the genes, Genes.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds.
Within days, the internet's mood flips. Critics call it tone deaf. Some hear echoes of eugenics. Others accuse the brand of sexualizing and politicizing denims. Then the twist. Political heavyweights such as Donald Trump publicly praised the ad. Then conservative media rallies around it, and American Eagle stock skyrockets. It rockets up to its biggest single-day gain since early 2000. On the flip side, let's look at Beyonce's Levi love. On the other side, Beyonce's new Levi spot is hitting the internet. The vibe, glamorous, nostalgic, a Marilyn Monroe homage in denim. Critics, a few pundits cry cultural appropriation, such as our dear old Piers Morgan, who said, "Very disappointed to see Beyonce culturally appropriate Marilyn Monroe in her new Levi's art." Well, the beehive went after him. The roared louder, and the mainstream fashion media eats it up. And do you know what cowardice Piers Morgan did? He ran to his show and praised Beyonce's denim, said she's a beautiful woman, same as Sydney Sweeney, and it was just a joke. Okay, sir, you will never stop pandering, but that's besides the point of this video. The campaign, Beyonce's campaign, drives engagement and sales, solidifying Levi's on the brand riding the wave, not drowning in it. And amongst those who criticize it was also our dear old Megyn Kelly. She said, "This is the opposite of the Sydney Sweeney ad. Quite clearly, there is nothing natural about Beyonce. Everything from her image to her fame to her success to her look below is bought and paid for. Screams artificial, fake, enhanced, trying too hard." Look, Beyonce's art really got huge praise in the streets compared to Sydney Sweeney's art. And we are going to look at the reason and the main nuance behind the difference in reception of both arts. They are just talking about jeans. Why are we having such political warfare over it? The double standard and different audiences. So, why is the split? Sydney Sweeney's art became a political test, conservative pride versus progressive outrage, while Beyonce's was a cultural conversation, but not a political football. The supporters, the critics, and the stakes, completely different ecosystem, and the brands know it. You know, things such as these are things that make you think widely. Because with Sydney Sweeney's denim advert, people complain that she is talking about her genes, perpetuating the ideology that only women with blue eye and blonde hair are beautiful. And we had people like Megan Kelly who came on screaming, Sydney Sweeney is all natural, but is she? Also, there are people who complained that Beyonce is trying to be white so much she was trying to look like Marilyn Monroe. Now, on the flip side, is she trying to be white or is she trying to please the advertisers or the fans or the market that is constantly demanding people, women, to look the way Beyonce sells herself? Those are nuances that people are not willing to accept to look into. But do you know the truth? It doesn't matter how you look at each of these arts. There is one person behind the scenes that jumps, dances, and sings to the bank. Let's look at the legacy of controversial arts, the influence and the homage and imitation of such. But this isn't the first time a denim art stirs a storm. Decades earlier, a 15-year-old Brooke Shields delivered a line that changed marketing forever. In 1980, Brooke starred in a Calvin Klein's now infamous commercial art where she said, "You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing." She also had wordplay, just like the same as Sydney Sweeney, where she said, "Genes are passed down from generation to generation, the color of the jeans," and all of those wordplay, talking about all of that thing. It was the same kind of wordplay that was used in the Sydney Sweeney's art, where she said genes are passed down from parents to children. It could be eye color, and her eyes, her genes are blue. And this was a real replica of the Brooke Shields art, because when I saw it, I was thinking, where have I seen this before? Where have I? And then I realized it's the Brooke Shields art. The art was banned on many networks and sparked huge debate over its sexual undertones involving a minor. Brooke Shields was only 15 then. Yet, it skyrocketed Calvin Klein's brand recognition and made Brooke Shields a household name. Interestingly, Brooke later revealed that Calvin Klein replaced her because the jeans were becoming more famous as Brooke Shields jeans rather than Calvin Klein's jeans, a branding problem in disguise. This campaign set the template or precedent for combining youthful sex appeal with bold marketing proof that controversy can build cultural currency. Fast forward to 2025, Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle Great Jeans campaign drew obvious comparisons to the Brooke Shields spot. Both use young women, suggestive wordplay, and the power of the denim as a symbol. But is the American Eagle ad a direct copy? No, not exactly. While the American Eagle campaign clearly echoes the early Calvin Klein approach using cheeky double meanings and provocative framing, the social and political context is radically different. The Brooke Shields art was controversial primarily for sexualization and censorship. Sydney Sweeney's campaign instead sparked debate on race, eugenics, and political identity. Critics argued that the American Eagle's plot lacks the original's subtlety and bold artistry, feeling more like a recycled idea that landed awkwardly amid today's cultural wars. And that is the truth. You could bring in the same message, but at the wrong time, you will receive a totally different response compared to another time. Because the truth is, if you look at Brooke Shields' advert, the wordplay is almost a replica of the 2025 ad wordplay. But then People are going to look at every art differently depending on the climate, the culture, and what is currently trending. People are fickle. Humans have a fickle sense of duty. Many individuals will stick to one thing 1 second, the next second, they are completely out of that same thing. And you ask them why, and they will tell you the minutest irrelevant aspect of it and say that's the difference. Meanwhile, there is definitely no difference here. And here are a quick look of other landmark controversial campaigns that shape careers and brands. And I'm in no way or shape saying that I endorse or refuse any of these controversial art campaigns. I'm just letting you look at the nuance between them. Ask yourself when you look at them if they were to be used at a different time or using different characters, using different people, how would you have felt about them? Let's take, for example, the 2017 Kendall Jenner Pepsi advert, the Nike 2018 Colin Kaepernick advert, the Benetton 80s 90s colors of Benetton and On Heat advert, the Dove 2017 ad, the Doors and Gabbana 2018 ad. In every case, controversy puts the spotlight on the brand. Sometimes it's a weapon, sometimes it's a curse, but you know what never happens? They are never ignored again. That ad, that campaign stays on the minds of individuals, and that leads to one thing. Do you know why most brands think that it doesn't matter why you're talking about them as long as you're talking about them? Let me break this down for you. Because if you look at who is laughing, this is the total breakdown. Okay? It is the part you've been waiting for, which I told you at the beginning. Let's take American Eagle. In the 21st hours after the controversy sparked, their stocks soared by nearly 17 to 24%, adding roughly 400 million to its market cap. That's the kind of boost most brands can only dream about, but it came from an outrage. And then you think that support is all a brand requires. Now let's look at Beyonce's Levi reimage ad. Reimage dropped coincidentally with a surge in online engagement and direct to consumer sales. Levi's reported that the campaign drove a double-digit percentage lift in the web traffic and denim sales in the first week. What's the moral? In 2025 and always, controversy isn't just a risk, it's currency. Whether the crowd boos or cheers, the brands are counting green. Let me explain the psychology behind this. Okay, you see an ad for a particular brand. That brand's ad becomes so controversial. Let's say the name of the brand is Shosha. Shosha becomes so controversial that everywhere you look, you hear someone saying something negative about Shosha, someone insulting it. People are angry, especially when the ad is talking about the particular person they used and not about the quality of the product. They're talking about who is used and the kind of advert used. It's not that the product is giving you a problem. So what happens? Shosha stays in your subconscious mind in such a way that anytime you enter a market, let's say Shosha is a cooking ingredient and you're looking for ingredients to go make your chicken or to go make your soup, the first ingredient you will pick there is Shosha. Because why? Subconsciously, that art implanted the image and name into your mind. It becomes familiar. It looks like home. It feels like something you know. If I ask you at that moment why you picked it, you will not know, but it is because the reoccurrence of the backlash, the art's problematic talk controversy led to its image and name ingrained in your brain such that when you saw it, it felt like home. It felt like something you knew, and that's why you picked it up. There are so many brands that you have become, let's say, attached to, brands you have loyalty to, not because of how good they were the first time you used them, but just because they became popular out of a controversial ad. And that is why you became familiar with the brand. I have seen myself pick up something, then after a while I see something, I'm like, oh, that is why I picked it. This thing was controversial a few moments ago. When I was picking the store, the only thing that was in my mind is it looked familiar, it felt like something I should go with. Other than the one that I've never seen anything about, I'll be like, if you were not controversial or you were not enough for people to talk about you, well, bye. So that is the end of it. So no matter who, no matter what happened, who is really winning? It is not the critics, not the stands. It's the companies and celebrities who turn every click, every share, every outrageous post into cold, hard profits. And that is the margin of everything. You think these brands don't know some of these ads will be controversial, then you are sleeping on your brains. They definitely sit down, look for a way to create a controversial ad because they know if that ad is controversial, it will make a name. Let's take, for example, the Sydney Sweeney's ad. It was nothing to remember. Honestly, I could have watched it, gone about my day, and I would not remember seeing it. But because of the outrage, it is stuck in my brain. Same thing with any other ad that has been controversial. I know many ads that have come and gone every day, every year, every month. But you know the only ones that are stuck in my mind, the ones that were controversial, the ones that had the most outrage online, offline, those are the ones that stay with you. And the reason the companies hope this sticks to your mind is because that is chicken at the end of the day. And that is it. Until next time. If you like the video, tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Did you think that any of these ads was as controversial as they made it, or you think it was just a lot of noise? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, bye.